they know when Dak comes back, it's basically going to be his team. But he has basically, by doing that, given the team confidence to be able to do everything they need to do to continue to support him while he is holding it down. And they have actually played, some good football. Not that the competition has been the best competition, but they've played efficient football and have been able to come out with 2 victories over the last 2 games.
Okay, so will there be controversy in Big D? We are going to find out soon and very soon. We got a special guest that's going to be in the place. We know him very well from days back in Richmond, Virginia.
He's still there.
He is still there. He is still in the house. I gotta find a way to go down to here, make sure we bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, program director of the what's the call letters now, man? I'm getting old, bro.
It's a couple of them, man. It doesn't matter, man. Okay. All that matters is that people hit that like button and subscribe to this podcast. That's all that matters.
That's
man.
all. That's
what I'm talking about. He's got that professional sounding mic too. I like that.
Yeah. Mike Street, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mike Street.
Yes, give him a big round of applause.
Give him a round of applause, Lo.
Okay, all right, that's pretty good. I got some over here.
Okay,
all right. That's what's up.
It's the in-studio sound. It's in-studio applause right there, yes.
Welcome to the show, Mike. How you been, bro?
I'm good. I'm glad to be someplace where I'm the youngest person.
Yes, you are.
It doesn't happen too often, so I'm just going to let that just wash over me right now.
Yeah, okay. But you're looking a lot older than both of us combined.
That's because you didn't send me that professional background that you have right there. That's what that is.
Okay, that's what it is. It is this light. This is the light in the camera, is that young lens. When you order it online, look for the young lens.
Hey, Mike, when we bring on people onto the show, before we really get into the nuts and bolts of fantasy football, we put them on a hot seat. Basically, what that is, we give you an opportunity. Actually, we just ask about 6 questions. It's just pretty much, I'll say Coca, Pepsi. You decide which one you like, or whatever you feel, and you just give us the answer. So before we really get started with the nuts and bolts, brother,
feel the burn. You're in the hot seat inside the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast.
Yeah, we pros.
Nice.
All right, Will Smith as King Richard or Jamie Foxx as Ray?
Oh, Jamie Foxx is Ray.
Mm-hmm. Okay, XFL or USFL?
Ooh. You know what? He hate me.
XFL. Okay. M&M's, plain or peanuts?
Oh gosh. Peanuts, protein.
Right. Mm-hmm. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Venus or Serena?
Ooh, I will definitely say Serena, sir.
Okay. Usher or Breezy?
You know what? I got to go with hometown. Breezy.
Okay. Breezy, hometown. Damn. Congratulations. You're officially off the hot seat. My man. So of course we talk a lot about fantasy football, but Mike, before we talk about fantasy football, we're going to go right to your actual your picks from the oh yeah. We got it because we talk about dynasty, man.
Dynasty,
so
right.
We got to talk about what you did. Now we're not going to talk a whole lot about it, but we all going to talk about it.
Oh, so, boy.
Mike Street, your first pick was Kyler Murray. You still happy with that pick?
No, sir.
Okay.
Well, you know what? That's because hindsight is 2020. Right. I'm not disappointed. It's a long season. It's a long play. Okay. Like I'm sure people know in this particular league, it's a keep 'em league.
Yeah.
So I wanted him, I figured he would be serviceable during the season, be a lot better when he gets his primary receiver back.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then you were on the tail end of that run of quarterbacks. So it's like now I'm like, dang, man, I should have picked Josh Allen, with the number 1 pick. Yeah. And but I wanted to go. If I didn't pick Jonathan, I would have not had an elite running back. So it was like, okay, do I want to make sure I have an elite running back going forward? Because I can get an elite quarterback sometime. And basically, I came with Deshaun Watson. So when he starts playing, that will be my elite quarterback. But you got caught up with that run of elite quarterbacks. So you have to take something.
I didn't want to get stuck with just having Mitch Trubisky.
Right.
Solely.
And for those who out there, Mike is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Wait a minute. You know what? I just realized something. I don't want to. Hold on. Let me. There we go.
There you go.
A lot better now.
Represent your squad.
Hey, man.
Hey, you're welcome for Mika Fitzpatrick from a Dolphin fan. You're welcome. Okay. You are welcome.
No, we purchased them. You didn't
I know
pawn them
you
off.
didn't.
We purchased them.
No, you did not.
You got a lot of stuff for him.
We didn't.
You got a first round pick.
We got one first round pick basically, and we picked Austin Jackson. He doesn't even play well.
And cleared a lot of money off of your books.
Mika Fitzpatrick wasn't costing us anything at that time.
He was about to.
But he wasn't at that time. So you can't say he cleared anything because he wasn't costing us at that time. See, I know he's the highest paid cornerback or defensive back in the NFL now, but at the time, we should have never given him up. But that was Brian Flores.
I can agree with that.
You know
what? You see how spicy Miami fans get when you're 3-0.
But that Mika Fitzpatrick trade, and the funny thing is, as Mike, I mean, we're not dropping names here because we're all friends and we know we meet people in the business. But I spoke to Mika the week prior to him getting traded, and he was just so frustrated with the way they were using him and moving him all over the field. They would have him lining up in the slot where he just wanted to do exactly what Pittsburgh has done with him. Put him at the safety and just let him be a ball hawk.
Freelance. Yeah, let him freelance.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. And we talked about that. I was telling him, I was like, listen, you are the best athlete on the field. So that's why Flores is trying to move you all over the place. But he was getting burnt. And of course, that's when the Dolphins were on that 0-7 run. So he was just trying to get out of there. So, you're welcome.
Well, you know what? Thank you. Thank you.
Mike, your second pick was Mr. Williams out of Denver. You happy with that pick?
You know what? I'm comfortable with it. Of course, I would have felt a lot. It would look a lot better if the passing offense for Denver was a little bit more respectable. Because just for the simple fact that they're not able to sling the ball around like I thought they'd be able to do, it's allowing the defensive backs to take that extra step forward. It's allowing the linemen and the linebackers to pin their ears back on passing downs. Mm-hmm. And of course, when they get behind, there's no reason to even have a running back in the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, we play a brand of fantasy football, which is Dynasty League, which defenses actually means something this time without having to just pick a defense. We pick individual players. How you feeling about your first year with the IDP League?
You know what? The only thing that threw me for a loop was when you hit me up the week before the season started and said, hey, man, you have too many players on your roster. I'm like, how? How do I have too many players? I picked the same amount of players as there were rounds, not knowing that I had to either put them on the,
taxi squad.
And IR.
Or cut them. Yeah.
Had
I realized that some of my later picks may have been rookies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Rookies that would definitely be able to contribute.
Right.
That are like second on the depth chart.
Right.
But I'm not mad at the way the league is going, even though I'm only 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And look, you went from the big house to the outhouse all in 1 week.
In 1 week, man.
All in 1 week.
I'm looking at my squad now, and I was actually trying to mess around with the roster earlier. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to struggle this week too.
Well, there's going to be a lot of struggle, man, because
especially when the buys roll around.
Yes. What we're talking about right now. Let's get into this injury report, man. There's a lot of things going on. So if you're out and about and you're checking us out on the web, definitely hit us with the comment if you are out there. If you have any questions about who you should start or who you should sit, Is there going to be a quarterback controversy in Big D when Cooper Rush comes back? Let us know what you think. We'll post it. We'll talk about it. In addition to that, we're going into this injury report. Mr. Swift, DeAndre Swift, he hurt. So
I
what
know.
do you do?
It's looking like a shoulder right now. It's the shoulder, right? Is it with him or is that? No, that's Davin Cook that has the shoulder injury, right? Dalvin has.
Yes.
Right. Right.
So,
right.
He's hurt. The thing about it is, but Jamal Williams came in and scored 2 touchdowns right after he got hurt. So if you've got Swift, make sure if it's still available, pick up Jamal Williams. Anybody check that out?
Well, not in our league. You can forget about it in our league.
Yeah, you're not going. Yeah, I personally have Swift, so I know I'm in pain right now about this.
Right. Well, actually, you should. Before that, I have Jonathan Taylor. So whoever has Hines, I was looking at possibly making a trade with him so I can get the handcuff there, but I don't think he's responded to a couple of trade offers. So. I want to make sure I have my number one running back protected. And I think everyone should do the same, especially in this league. It's like, I think we should make those swaps just so we help each other out to a certain extent. Like if Mike needs a backup and I have the backup and he can help me out, we could do that, so, but this is going to be interesting because I think Swift, how long is Swift supposed to be out?
They say it's week to week.
Week to week. Okay.
Week to week.
Right.
We just talked about Mr. Cook.
That means it's going to linger for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, another person injured.
Mm-hmm.
His backup.
You know who has his backup?
Alexander Madison. I know you have him, Street. I saw
yeah.
you. Congratulations. They said he's just as good as Dalvin Cook.
I think I got him. I got him at a good place during the draft too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna see where you got him as you guys continue. Oh yeah, he was oh man, about 12 pick in the draft.
Yep.
You got value out of that.
Yes.
Good value out of
that. And
he
will be starting this week.
12th pick or in the 12th round?
12th round.
Okay.
12th round.
Okay. You said
12th round. Definitely 12th round.
Right.
And when we talk about, as we continue to talk about injuries, and if you're out there and you're playing fantasy, I know if you got this man on your squad, you're hurt.
I do.
Mr. Montgomery.
Yep. And the irony is that the reason why I lost this week, but I was so mad with myself because I had players in the starting lineup. And while I was sitting at the game waiting for kickoff, I made a couple of adjustments. So I had Khalil Herbert in the starting lineup at my flex, and I took him out. I had Javon Holland in my starting lineup as my defensive back, and I took him out. Between the two, I think it was 70 points that I left on my bench. And I had Devontae Parker in my starting lineup as well. Took him out for Nelson Aguilar. And this is the game Parker decides to go out. So I feel good about my squad. The dilemma is going to be who to start. This guy right here, he will be starting in my lineup this week.
Oh, yeah. Well, another one. Anybody had Sterling last night? Nobody had Sterling?
I think he was on the waiver wire for a long time before someone picked him up.
Yeah.
Did you see how he got hurt?
Oh, yeah. That was ugly. And random.
What wasn't he just running?
And random.
Yeah, he was just running and his foot got stuck in the turf. That's
turf
crazy.
Monster got him.
They need to do something about that turf, man.
You know what that is? That's a 45 plus injury. Like, for people who are younger, you don't understand. Sometimes you can wake up in the morning, turn the wrong way, and pull a muscle. It happens.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of truth to that.
It happens. And in his case, it was non-contact.
Yeah. And did you see the way everyone came to the cart and was dapping him up? They knew that it was a serious injury, but it didn't look that serious because it was a non-contact injury, and he just caught his foot in the turf.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, another one, this is close to your heart, Lo. What's going on?
Tua?
Tua.
I think he's going to play based on the press conference that Mike McDaniel had today. They're not going to wait till kickoff. They're going to decide either tomorrow or sometime early on Thursday whether or not he's going to play. I think Tua's going to do everything. He called Mike McDaniel last night about 10:30 to let him know he's going to do everything necessary to be able to play. It's just unfortunate that we have such a quick turnaround from Sunday to Monday. But if Tua can play, it's going to be, it's a nationally televised game. It's on Amazon Prime. And, he's going to go up. He's going to want to go up against Joe Burrow. So here you have the number 1 pick of the 2020 draft going up against the number 5 pick. So, and the Dolphins are playing well. So we'll find out probably early Thursday. I think he's going to be able to suit up.
Okay. All right, let's.
I need him to win. I need a Dolphins win badly. Just
for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
Just to keep the Pittsburgh Steelers right.
Just for selfish purposes,
right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, as long as we know it's selfish purposes.
Hey, man. You know what? I before you go on though.
Okay.
Now I was watching that game, and they were saying it was his back, and the official, if I'm not mistaken. Officially now they're saying he had a head injury. Okay.
What's your question?
So my official question is, do you think somebody's going to get in trouble for misdiagnosing his head injury?
No. I was there at the game. Mm-hmm. I saw when it happened. And if you've seen the video, which they've showed over and over again, earlier in the game, he did get bent backwards. Okay. And his back was hurting him. And I was sitting there saying, go ahead, bend over to it, stretch it out. I'm saying this, stretch out your back. So he was dealing with the back injury. Did his head hit the ground? Yes. Did it hit it hard? Yes. But if you notice, he got up, he shook his head. Then if you're concussed, it's that first step where you're woozy. It's that second step. You're still woozy. Your equilibrium is thrown off when you take those steps.
Is luck.
Right. But he ran. He took 5 steps and then he started to stumble. That's when his back locked up. Now, of course, because he hit his head, that's why they said head injury. But when he came out, he passed all the protocols. Nothing's going to happen. They're going to move on.
I couldn't call it. As somebody who's had a concussion and somebody who's had an injured back, I would have flipped the coin on that one. I said, you know what? I've crumpled to the floor.
Mm-hmm. From your back.
From a bad back.
Right. Watch the video. I wish Eric had the video. Watch the video. He runs like 5 steps and then he falls over. If you're concussed, you're not making those 5 steps. You're not making it that far. You're done on the first, second, third step. So, and then when he falls on his, like maybe his back, his butt, his hip bone. I won't say too much about butts because we had the punt butt punt, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
In that game as well. But I think he had hurt his back earlier in the game. So, I think they'll investigate it and they'll be like, okay, move on. And he played well. He made some great throws in the second half when the Dolphins had the ball.
Right.
They scored 21 points in 19 minutes. The Bills scored 17. They scored 21 points in 19 minutes. The Bills scored 17 points in 41 minutes.
Right.
But everyone's talking about the Bills played so well and they dominated the game. When the Dolphins had the ball, they scored. When the Bills had the ball, they didn't.
Okay. Well,
home cooking, boy. Home cooking.
It is what it is. I'm dropping facts. Yes, the Heat, that's home field advantage. When it's cold in Baltimore or when it's cold in Washington, when it's cold in Pittsburgh, that's your advantage.
Facts. What happened?
So
facts. All right, let's move on to these quarterbacks, man. They weren't supposed to be out here right now. And speaking of injury report, Matt Jones hurt.
Couple of weeks. Yeah.
Couple of weeks.
Yep.
Journeyman, Mr. Hoyer, he's back.
Hey,
what are you thinking,
Mike?
I'm not picking him up.
I ain't picking him up.
Even if you could put quarterbacks at a flex position,
right?
I wouldn't.
You're not picking up Hoyer?
No.
And the Patriots already were having problems with their offense. You don't know who the number 1 receiver was. I had Aguilar and Devontae Parker, hoping one of them will go off. I had to get rid of Aguilar after this week. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just glad what's happening there because as long as they can, and they have a tough game this week, don't they? I know.
New England?
They have.
I know Buffalo is playing Baltimore.
New England is playing Green Bay.
Okay, tough game. Yeah,
Right.
that's.
Yeah.
I think that'll be an L. Where's the game? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah. So
Either way, it's going to be a tough
let
game.
me check.
Now, the guy in the middle, Dallas Cowboy fans been talking trash all over the place. But I got to give it up to him. Cooper Rush did his thing last night. If you're out and about and you need that handcuff to Dak, he was the perfect pickup. If you hadn't had an opportunity to pick him up, he's putting those numbers up. He for real. I like the pick right now. Not that I'd pick him up on my squad at this point.
How many? I mean, he's not going to get you a lot of fantasy football points with that, with their offense and the way they're going to protect him and run the ball. So, it's safe to stay with the running back that you have.
You know what they look like? They look like that Tampa Bay team. No, they
Brad
look like
Johnson.
No, they look
Baltimore
like
team.
They look like Baltimore with Trent Dilfer.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
They can run the ball. The defense is playing solid. Well, in this game this week, they got plenty of pressure on the other quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Dallas leading the league in sacks this year so far?
They picked up about 6 last night.
I don't know. Philly had 9 against Washington.
I think Dallas might, if they're not number 1, they're number 2 in sacks and quarterback hits.
Yeah, they made that dude want to rethink his job last night. I was like, what was the offensive lineman? I mean, we fighting afterwards. Look, y'all ain't protect none of me. None of me.
They don't get to eat off of the training table after the game. It's like, no, wait till you get home before you eat, brother.
Now, how would you rate the quality of opponents that Dallas has played? The first 3 games.
They played Tampa.
Right.
And they lost. How many times they get to Brady in that game?
Oh, they got the Brady.
They got the Brady a couple. Yeah, they got to more than.
Yeah, but Brady's offensive line is all banged up.
I was getting ready to say
in the middle. Okay,
he didn't have offensive line, and it's not like Brady's.
All right, so that's a weak offensive line. Who they play after that?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has one of the weakest offensive lines.
Offensive line.
So the Cowboys have basically feasted on weak offensive lines these first 3 weeks.
But they're supposed to.
If you're good.
You're supposed.
But are they great?
You're supposed to beat up.
I know, but they're not. I don't think they're as great. Their pass rush is not as great because of the competition they've gone up against. Like everyone wants to say Philadelphia is the best team in the NFL, but who have they beat?
Everybody they've played.
Exactly. but my Dolphins beat the New England Patriots. We beat the Baltimore Ravens, and we beat the team that they crowned basically the Super Bowl champion already, the Buffalo Bills. So if you look at the strength of schedule,
you know what? My bad. I just realized that's what Lorenzo does.
Yeah,
I drop facts.
Wait. Let me turn
That's what it is.
Am I not bringing up facts?
No, you're just bringing up the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Every chance I get. That's gonna happen. Yes. You started with the Steelers,
but I let it go.
We got Flacco.
He even put the hat on and everything.
I had to. It matched better with this color with that light.
I know.
But we got Joe Flacco. He showed up the first week he was on. Matter of fact, he got picked up in a couple of leagues. People said he was a good pick, and last week he became Joe Flacco once again.
Yeah. Well, Zach Wilson, I think, is scheduled to come back this week or the following week.
I think it's the following week.
Week
we got
5.
Flacco for another week.
Yeah, and hey, Mike Street, guess who? And guess who? Zach Wilson is coming back against.
Man, let me tell you.
Guess what team? Take a guess. The Miami Dolphins. Go ahead, spin around again. I'm bringing a fact.
Well, if I'm not mistaken,
that's funny.
Joe Flacco's playing this week.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Guess who he's playing this week?
Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, that's
All
good.
right.
Yeah, that should be a W. That should be a W for you without a point.
You know what, man? I don't call them anymore. I've learned that lesson the hard way. I just let it do what it do.
Yeah, man.
Myles Garrett, car accident.
Oh,
that's on Lorenzo's team.
Yeah, man.
So if you drafted Myles Garrett, on your team, if you're in IDP league, what do? Pull somebody new?
I mean, I made sure that I had a backup defensive lineman. I think I have Quinny Pay from the Colts as my backup defensive lineman, but that really hurts because I drafted Myles Garrett high.
And
I drafted TJ Watt high in the draft because those players score points. They score points like running backs.
A lot of points.
And to be playing and not have your number one defensive lineman and not have your number one linebacker is kind of tough, but you have to have depth, and it goes back to the Miami Dolphins. Like Jerome Baker last week scored like 30 some odd points, and I had him on my bench. Back to the Dolphins again, yeah.
I do know one thing about Garrett though, and I'm gonna say this. And this is not to be funny. If you're a 250 plus pound
I know,
man,
I'm saying the same thing.
There is no reason for you to be driving a high performance sports vehicle.
Yeah.
Big boys drive big trucks.
That's right.
What was he driving?
Or at least, what was it, like
Porsche?
a Porsche?
A Porsche? It was small. He's too big for that car.
He was more rugged than the exterior of that car.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Jimmy G? The return of Jimmy G.
Well, you're not gonna know what Jimmy G looks like until week 4 or 5.
Right.
You call it what it is. He didn't have to be in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't show up. Well, of course, he couldn't show up for OTAs or any of that because he had just had the surgery in like what, March or April.
Right.
And it was a shoulder surgery. Who injures the back of their shoulder?
Yeah.
Right.
And then they didn't have plays in for him. None of the players had reps with him since January.
Right.
On top of that, the entire offense was restructured for a running quarterback. And now you have to get the offensive lineman to say, no, we're not moving. We want you to stay still.
To protect Jimmy G.
We need you to protect Jimmy because I don't even know who was next on the depth chart after Jimmy.
Right.
You lose Jimmy, then you're going and picking up somebody's third string quarterback. And then Jimmy, it's not like Jimmy's thrown the ball much at practice, except for last week, of course.
Right.
And when
Got
he was
first team reps.
When he was throwing, he was throwing the DB. He might have actually been the practice squad quarterback, for first string defense.
He was practice quarterback.
So he was throwing the third stringers and other DBs.
Well, it's interesting because as we get closer to those bye weeks, people gonna have to start making some decisions on who they're gonna pick up, who they're gonna hold, who they're gonna keep. It's gonna get real interesting. Are you in any other leagues beside the Dynasty League, Mike?
Oh man, I'm in 3 or 4 other leagues, and just so you understand how bad my week was this week.
Wow.
I went a total of 0-4 this week. And in 2 of the leagues, I didn't break 70 points. My quarterbacks were Herbert in one league, just so you understand the pain. Herbert was the quarterback in one league. Mahomes was the quarterback in another league.
And you lost?
Oh, Mahomes goose-egged this week, man.
Yeah, Did he really?
Yeah, he wasn't good. He wasn't good.
He goose-egged this week, man. It was it was so bad. You know how you look at the scores in like the first half of the first set of games?
Mm-hmm.
And I went from having a possibility of 120 to a possibility of like 80. I was like, oh yeah, I've lost this. Like I had Mahomes, he put up 18 points in one league. I had Judy, he put up 3 points at my wide receiver. I had Dylan at running back. He gave me 5 points.
Mm.
So it was one of those weeks, man.
Mm.
So when you're talking Judy, is it more Russ? Is Russ not as good as we thought he was going to be?
You know what? I think Russ does better when he's not predictable. He's a you know what he is? He takes chances. You notice most of his success came when the team could run the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and the defense could make up for any mistake that the offense made. Once that Seattle defense started to decline,
right,
Russ's play started to decline as far as productivity.
And so did the running game too.
Right. And
his
his mistakes were amplified because the defense couldn't cover for his mistakes anymore.
Right.
Like if you look at him now, he would be a middle-tiered quarterback. Like if you just put all of the quarterbacks in a pool and told the different owners, pick a quarterback. I'm not sure that he would be picked in the top 10. I'm sure he wouldn't be picked in the top 10. Probably 15 to 16.
So if you drafted Judy or Sutton, you got problems right now.
It's pain.
Yeah.
I got the running back in one league, but that's the best I could do, man.
Yeah. I try to stay away from that combination there because it was so new. You know, you didn't know what to expect from that. And then that backfield, I mean, Melvin Gordon takes away a lot of the carries from Javonte Williams near the goal line. So that's what you got to be concerned with him, because I had Javonte last year. So Melvin Gordon is going to take away a lot of those carries. And now their offense is really in disarray based on what we saw. What was that? Sunday night against the 49ers? That game was a snooze fest. Could not believe what I was watching. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You know, and then with the 49ers, the left tackle got injured too, right?
Yep.
So they have problems. So I don't know about Russell. Do you think it has something to do with Sierra?
Oh, don't bring her in.
I mean, you know, we radio guys, so I just thought I'd bring it up. You know,
just in case you guys don't know, as we talk about fantasy football, we do that because we love fantasy football. But all three of us in these squares, we are on-air personalities by trade. That's what we do for a living, or those two do it for a living. I went to the dark side of the force. I sell now, so. But for
you need
years,
money. Tell her what it was. You wanted to actually make money. So.
Want to make a little bit of more money.
Right.
Yeah,
and
I went to the dark side of the force.
Yeah, you control the money too.
Look, he didn't want the apartment. He wanted the 6-bedroom house with the 5.5 baths.
By himself.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty good, Street.
I know.
You
need to have a party or something at your crib, man.
I throw a party every blue moon.
You need to announce it and happen. We need to do a weekend at your crib.
Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, something, man, so we can all come down and hang out.
To die for it?
I don't know.
You got to do something when you have 5,000 square feet, brother.
Yeah, we can all come. You know, we can stay the weekend. Mike get a room.
He was about to say no, it's actually 6,000. But
yeah, put that together, man. Yeah, come on, man.
I'm gonna put something together, man.
Put something together. We'll come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, have party.
Hey, Mike, we need a reason to get to Atlanta, right?
Hey,
come
man,
on to the A.
I know people down there.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's a lot
I gotta explain to the wife. Oh yeah, I got a reason to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Business. I have to
business,
go see
right?
I have to go see Reggie Rouse.
That's right, exactly. And Frank Ski that's right.
Yeah. Come see the folk. Come see the fam. Well, Mike, man, it's good, man. We went fast through this one tonight.
Yeah, man.
Oh wait, that's it.
That's it, man.
We only normally do 30 minutes. You know, it always turns into about an hour or so.
Yeah, it usually, it can get a little long, but at the same time, we do this each and every Tuesday, 8 p.m. throughout the football season. We'll think about continuing this after the fact.
We will
definitely, because I mean, it's dynasty. We could talk about college football players with the combine, who we gonna pick the next year, the whole nine. So
and entertainment news, we start tying that in with the sports, man. We'll be here all day.
Yeah, it'll be crazy, man. So Mike, tell everybody how they can find you on social media.
Oh, it's real easy, man. It's at Mike Street Show on every platform.
Okay.
And I also have an entertainment page I'm putting together, podcast. It's called Pineapple Mimosa.
Okay.
Right. All right.
Pineapple Mimosa.
Yeah. Drink a champion, sir.
All right. What's the content gonna be about?
Any and everything. Anything not dealing with anything I'm feeling for that day.
Okay.
That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Pineapple mimosa. Okay. I like that.
Pretty much it's like, let's sit back, have a pineapple mimosa and talk about the first thing that I'll give you a perfect example. Last time we talked about the perfect album.
Oh, one that you don't skip.
Right. From beginning to end, all the way through. And I had different people pop in the industry, outside of the industry, a couple of athletes. And everybody amazingly ended up naming like pretty much the same albums.
Was there any album that you were like, this is crazy? They don't know what they're talking about.
You know what? Weirdly, no.
Okay.
Like
what were some of the albums mentioned?
If we want to go in chronological order, everybody said, of course, 2 or 3 Michael Jackson albums. They said the first Guy album. Then I had somebody say the Take 6 greatest hits, and I was like, yeah, I can't argue that.
Greatest hits,
because it's the greatest hits.
Take 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Ready to Die.
I knew Biggie was gonna make his way.
Yeah, Biggie was on there. Some people named Jay-Z albums. Like,
what about Lauryn Hill?
You know what? There was the midday host in Philly on one of the stations up there chimed in, and she said the miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, Songs of the Key of Life.
See, you can't skip any song on that album.
Yeah, that album is a classic, dog.
No, it's a classic, but
That's a classic.
This is one thing we did discuss, though. If the album contains at least one song that can be put in the top 100 records of all time, then it gets a pass.
Okay.
Just because.
Right.
Like the album that had Dougie Fresh the Show, you can't name any other songs on there like right off the top.
True.
Right.
But because it had the show, it's a perfect album.
Right.
Although no, this is called a show.
Right. So different topics like that, man.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Lo, tell everybody how they can find you on social media.
Well, they can find me on social media, on Twitter at Lorenzo Thomas, on IG at Lorenzo Ice T, on Facebook as Lorenzo Thomas. And then you can hear me on Star 94.5 in the afternoons, Monday through Friday from 3 to 7. And you can also hear me on Hot 105 in Miami on the weekends from 6 to 10.
Street, let them know when they can hear you, player.
Hey, man, I would be wrong if I didn't do the company line. You can hear me on 106.5 The Beat in Richmond. And we're always live on the free Odyssey app.
There you go.
Now.
Hold on a second. Let me stretch it out real quick. You guys can catch me at Dirty South FFL on Twitter, or you can catch me at Eric Lee the Actor, both on IG and Facebook. And you can also catch me on the weekend at 100 Hip Hop and R&B FM, the station for every generation, each and every Friday night with Thomas Lytle, DJ Ebony. And catch me on Saturdays right before Super Scotty and the Day Party.
Woo!
I still got it. I still got
it.
I like you as a radio host better than you were as a judge on that one show.
Hey, I'll put him in jail. I'll let him loose.
Hey, man.
Hey.
And cash the check, sir.
That's right. That's right. Residually.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about week 4 in the NFL. Talk about the, of course, stardom or situm, the injury report. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on. And once again, thank you for hanging out with us, Mike Street.
Yes,
man,
Mike.
I appreciate being with you legends, man.
Man, we got to have him on again, man. This was fun.
Definitely. Stick around, Mike.